Listen, a Hamilton, Ontario Catholic school has canceled a screening of Lightyear for their kindergarten to grade 3 students over what they deem, quote, questionable content. So the movie has faced its share of controversy for including a same-sex kiss between 2 women. Reminder, this is an animation, but Vaughn, your thoughts on this? Was the school justified?
No, actually, I think the only questionable content was the letter that they wrote to the parents.
Whoa.
Because for me, you know, if it's about quote unquote protecting your children, like they say, all you have to do is not sign the permission slip. There you go. But once it becomes, and once it becomes about canceling the whole trip for everybody, then what you're doing is imposing your views, which is ironic because that's what they're accusing the movie of doing.
Wow.
That's a good point. It's a good
Does it matter that it's a Catholic school? I mean...
You know, I have to say, I grew up in Manitoba, so we didn't have this Catholic school system. I'm kind of being introduced to it, and I went to university in Calgary, so that's my first time running into that. But I think, you know, when we're talking about imposing views, you know, I'm assuming these are Catholic views that they're imposing. I don't know. I just think it's hypocritical to be imposing their views instead of just taking their own children out.
Tammy on Facebook, I think she agrees. She says, yes, one of these days, at least, should... Oh my God, that's from yesterday's show, you guys. Let's go to Serena on Facebook. My 7-year-old went with the grade 1s at her school and had a blast. She loved the movie. The school did give the option to all the parents if they wanted their kids to see it or not, which is how it should be. Kids don't care who kisses who. That kind of prejudice is taught. It's not something you're born with.
Amen,
Thanks for that,
Serena.
But you guys saw the movie.
Yes.
And if I'm understanding it correctly, there is some violence in it. And the school was very careful in the way they worded this. They're saying questionable content. So it could be violence. It could be the mediocre reviews maybe that the film is getting. No, it's not. Or it could be the kiss. And if it is the kiss, you know, it does, you know, on the heels of Pride right now, like, it does feel like we're still light years away in many ways.
I think they probably would have said they were worried about violent content.
They would have been more explicit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think the subtext is that they had a problem with the kiss. And it's funny, Mel and I went to see this movie, and the kiss, I didn't even notice it.
Barely
it was a
remembered
non-event.
it. Non-event.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, there's a lesbian couple here. Lovely. Move along.
Yeah.
It was certainly not problematic for me. But I did find some parts of the movie problematic in terms of, now this, let's put it in context. We watched this movie almost, I feel like, very shortly after the mass shooting in Texas.
Right.
And so that wasn't that far off my mind. And this was when you think about Toy Story, you think about origin stories, I think a lot of that kind of images come to mind of like sort of benign, you know, there's no violence, it's just kind of sunny days and some, you know,
Talking toys.
Talking toys.
Yeah.
It's not that. So I'm surprised that a 7-year-old was fine. I was watching it the whole time and I was thinking, I'm not letting Jaya see this right now. I felt for my family that it was too much guns. I felt like it, and actually some of it also felt like I could picture the boardroom meeting of like, let's put, what are the kids into today? Like they're into Stranger Things, they're into, let's make it feel like a roller coaster and like bamboozle and all this stuff. And I was just like, it was too much. I felt quite stressed out watching it. So it was too much for me. That's all to say that I agree that it is the parent's choice. But if a parent
so you would have
doesn't
signed
know,
that. Yeah.
If I didn't know, I would have been like, Lightyear, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
I think we're skirting around maybe one of the most obvious concerns for me, which is the Catholic aspect of this. It's a Catholic school, and we don't know exactly what they meant by questionable content, but I'm gonna take a leap.
Yeah.
And just guess that probably hearing that there was a same-sex kiss in here between 2 minority women is potentially the questionable content. And I'm gonna tell you something. I got a couple of very strong words to say. And Mom, who is a devout Catholic, I'm sorry. This is precisely the reason why I pulled my daughter out of Catholic school. I cannot say that enough. This is so far from Jesus's teachings to say we're going to shield our children from a same-sex kiss, if that's the reason why they pulled this trip. This is precisely the reason. Newsflash, Jesus was an activist. Newsflash, where would you find Jesus? Not in the ivory towers. You would find him in the streets with the most marginalized, vulnerable, oppressed people. And who is that still today? It is still the gay community, the LGBTQ2+ community. It is still Black lives. And I'm just sick of the hypocrisy. And yeah, sure, let the parents opt in, opt out, but I'm not letting the parents off the hook. Why is your child in Catholic school? I gotta ask the question, and are you okay with this as a Catholic?
I'm really enjoying this Melissa Grelo.
I'm just heated.
Yeah.
I'm heated.
And I understand
I'm angry.
why.
The
I love it.
contradictory
They
behavior.
always come for me.
Costume.
Like,
Go
Cynthia,
for it.
what's your problem with Catholicism? They're coming for you today. And I
You know
will
what? I was
back
a
you
born and
up.
raised Catholic.
I will back you up.
Born and raised Catholic with a Filipino family who does very good things through the church. I am saying both things can exist.
Yes.
The church can do amazing things, and the church can also hurt a lot of people. I'm just not willing to allow them to hurt people, including my daughter's brain, for the sake of what?
Wow.
You're not getting my tax money anymore. Okay.